Hello, Captains, and welcome to my continuing series leveling up a brand new character on the Romulan Faction as a Riemann tactical career. I'm going to interject this little video in between the series play. This is a Q&A video, a question and answer video, also a means to answer user feedback from comments on my YouTube videos for this series, as well as to give shout outs to people that definitely deserve it. So I'm creating this video in between my playthroughs that I'm doing. Right now I have episodes 1 and 2 up for the Star Trek Online Romulan playthrough right now. Episodes 1 and 2 are published, and I'm actually filming this right after I published those videos. So I'm recording this on Tuesday, January 16th. The reason why that's important is because I need to explain first that my Star Trek Online playthroughs for this series are being recorded ahead of time. I'm actually a week ahead of what you see published on this series. So for example, even though I just published yesterday Part 2, the Helix, I've actually, in real time, already recorded up to 7 episodes, I think. I'm up to like 7 parts. So I'm on like the 7th video in actual real time. What that means is, as you can see on your screen here, I am a Centurion level 12 currently. So even though I'm like a lieutenant in, episode in the parts 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all that, in real time I'm actually already up to Centurion level 12. I basically just want you guys to know that, because what you see published is about a week behind what my character actually is in game at that current time period. So when you see a video published, like let's say part 3 tonight will be published, just consider and think that my character is actually 1 week ahead of that in real time. And that's important because I know a lot of people want to help me out, and they want to provide gear or things that could help me along the way, or advice and that sort of thing. But just know I'm actually probably a level ahead, a whole 10 grades, maybe at some points, between 5 to 10 grades ahead of what I'm actually publishing. So what I did when I started this series is I recorded a whole bunch of videos. I recorded like 5 to 7 videos at once. And then I delayed and waited about a week before I started publishing them. That way I'm ahead of myself, and I won't have any missing time in there. I'll be able to publish one video every day, Monday through Friday, and not miss a day. That's the whole thing there. If I was doing it like just recording a video and then publishing and recording and publishing, I may miss a few days. But by this way, I can try to be a little more consistent and release them, since I'm actually have recorded way ahead of myself, and then I'm just publishing them on a delayed schedule. So I hope that makes sense. Basically, summary is, when I publish a video, in reality at that point in time, my actual character in game is already about a week ahead of that video being published. That's all I want to point out there. There are some comments and things that I want to read from the videos. Part 1, the tutorial, and then part 2, the Helix. I have, of course, a lot of input, a lot of feedback from people in the YouTube comments there. So I want to shout out some names, read their comments, and just basically kind of provide a Q&A to answer some of those questions on how this will all be handled going forward. And also I want to give a shout out to a very important person who has helped me. Basically, he's pretty much sponsored my Centurion level leveling here. I want to give a shout out to Jeff. And Jeff, you know who you are. I will bring up his username here real quick just so you can see. Jeff Morgan at Rescue Ranger TS. Jeff Morgan is one of his names, and I think Chawl is his other character name. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff has provided me a ton, and I mean a ton, of Mark IV very rare gear to use at Centurion levels. So I have actually equipped all that because I am Centurion now, and I am using all the gear that he provided for me, and I will go over that gear when we get to it in the actual video that I'll record for my Centurion levels, because I actually just put on all that gear. But just a real quick summary, just so you can see here. I'm using like all Mark IV gear now on my ship, and I'm using all Mark IV gear on myself, and then my characters as well. So body armor, shields, weapons, deflector, impulse engine, shield, weapons, tactical consoles, all of that he has provided for me. So I am going to have a very cool Centurion level gaming experience here on this Mark IV gear as I go through all the way up to Centurion 20. Then I'll become a Romulan subcommander. But all the way through 20, I will be having a very good experience thanks to Jeff. So thank you, Jeff, for all that wonderful gear. It's going to pay off. I'm using it, and I will definitely have a good gaming experience because of that. So thank you so much for that gear. That will definitely help. So big shout out to Jeff. All right, next up, let's answer some of the questions that people have left in the comments. I have made a list, and I'm going to read from this list of the most important questions I found. Now, obviously, I can't cover everybody's comments, but I do thank you for all your comments, and I have read every single comment. I may not be able to respond to every single one, but I will do my best. But I have read all your comments, and there's a lot of good feedback out there from this playthrough so far, and I really appreciate it. A lot of good advice, and believe me, I am taking that advice to heart. I am taking notes, and we'll see how all that goes. But here are some comments that say I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe about 12 or 13 or 14 comments here to read. So let's start with back to my part 1 tutorial video. We've got Visoros saying, think to explain the Riemann look. Oh, he's giving here a suggestion for how we could explain the Riemann look on Omega. And I like his idea here. He says, for me, I'd think on it as some sort of Riemann-esque regeneration, given the dimension and races he found himself surrounded by when he arrived. It sounds rather Doctor Who-ish enough to me. I completely agree with you. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the fact that we have had, he's come over from the antimatter universe. He came over to our universe, but in doing so, it irreparably, contaminated him somehow, and he literally died and had to regenerate. And in this new universe that he found himself in, he has regenerated into a Riemann-looking character. That way he can fit in better. And he liked the Riemanns, he liked what he saw, and he liked what they stood for and what they're all about, and so he went with the Riemann look. And of course we know from Doctor Who that Time Lords can kind of choose what they look like. So they can, remember Romana in the original series, she went through like several different looks for her regeneration before she finalized, Romana 2, on her final appearance there for Romana 2, but she went like through different looking things. They can actually, while they're in their regeneration, choose kind of what to look like. So I'm going to say that that is the reason for why our Omega here looks like a Riemann, because he's in this universe, he regenerated into that. So when he goes back to the Time Lord universe, he'll regenerate back into, looking like a Time Lord. So I like that idea, so thank you, Visoros, for that. I'm going with it. Your idea is perfect. Next, we got Primeval Adam. In your background story, why are you Riemann if you came from another dimension? I think that explains it right there. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm Riemann because of that regeneration. HB Haga says, if you wind up hitting the low-buy store for costume parts, you might also want to grab a sphere builder hand weapon. Omega needs a hand after all. I love that. I totally forgot about the sphere builder hand weapon. It actually looks more like a more like a Goa'uld device. If you've seen the hand devices from the Goa'uld, it kind of looks like that in Stargate. But it could be substituted for a Hand of Omega device for Omega. So I like that. Yeah, when I get low buy, I will definitely go get that device. I think that'll be really cool to have on our person. All right, Nordson says, some of the bridge officers you get from the missions will have the trait Superior Romulan Operative. Remember to take advantage of this when you select them for your stations. So yeah, I am familiar with that. I've heard about it a lot, and I know I haven't really utilized it to its full benefit, but the characters that I slot as my bridge officers will definitely have Superior Romulan Operative. Also, I'm going to be using some unique characters moving on. I've got an android, and I've actually purchased a Pharazin. Now that I'm on the KDF faction, I purchased a Pharazin in the Z store for the first time because I've never used one before. I wanted to have one, so I got one. So that's going to be one of my bridge officers. There's a Pharazin and an android. So I'm going to have some unique bridge officers in addition to other ones as well. Jeffrey Morgan says you should add a breather mask. Yeah, that could be a good look on this character. We'll see in the future how that looks. I know I definitely need to get them for the Alachi missions, so I will be having to get those anyway. Calvin Robinson says, I would use any advantage possible since your character is out for power and glory, especially while on advanced or elite settings. So if you have the opportunity to use advanced equipment and ships, seize it. Absolutely, I definitely will be. Like I said, I'm going to use all the benefits and advantages I have for me, so I'm going to use all that stuff. Stan Gunman 01 says, interesting vid. Wonder how they'll change the game when the Dominion takes center stage. Also wonder if the expansion will be the mirror universe. So I actually don't know what's coming in terms of the future in Star Trek Online. I don't know what things they have planned. I haven't read up on anything about that. But as new game seasons come out, we'll just roll with it, naturally. Alex Kupura says, was hoping you'd play a different career to Rami Summers. Yeah, I can see that. I know I just played a tactical on Rami Summers, but the point with this character is I wanted a tactical character. I've never had one on the Romulan side, and I needed one, and so this just worked out that it just worked out that way. In the future, who's to say I won't roll another character somewhere and record that? You know, you never know. Probably need to do a couple more on the free-to-play anyway. In fact, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Someone, I'm sure, will remind me in the future that I said this, but I probably need to do an engineer and a science on my free-to-play account because I already have the tactical there. That would be the better place to do it. That way you could also see another free-to-play run-through, which I know people want to see. People have suggested that I use the cloak since I'm Romulan. Obviously, yes, I will be using the cloak as much as I can. I do forget sometimes. And sometimes I'm just a little overpowered and don't even feel like I need the cloak. But yes, I know it gives you a buff when you decloak, so I will use that. Film Monk Productions said you should go with the Khan outfit with the head mask. Yeah, that could also be a possible look for Omega. It does cover the entire face, and Omega in the original series has a completely covered face. He's wearing a huge head mask or whatever. So, yeah, that could be a potential look for our character. We'll see what happens. Beston says, for the Romulan people, Omega should have an eye patch so he looks even more evil. An eye patch, why not? Although I have put on these glasses, as you can see here. I'm rocking that. I kind of like that look. It's more modern. But an eye patch, who knows? Maybe we'll try it out anyway. Slaughter57 says, hi Brent, I've been a Stove free-to-play player for a couple of years now. I finally decided to buy the lifetime membership because I love the game. My only question is, how do I get on Tribble? I can't find a queue for it anywhere. Well, first of all, absolutely wonderful that you have gotten the full lifetime membership. Congratulations on that. I know it's an expensive ordeal. It will pay off over time, especially if you play the game for years and years. It will pay for itself, and it does provide all of the veteran rewards instantly, which is a huge bonus, which also means you get a free Tier 6 ship. You get the veteran 1,000 day Tier 5 and Tier 6 ship, so that will really help a lot of players right there. As for Tribble, what you have to do is actually launch the launcher. And when you're at the main screen launcher, before you actually launch the game, you log into the launcher. there should be an option to select holodeck or Tribble. If you don't see an option, you might have to go to options within the launcher and enable like to show all game servers or something like that. There's some kind of option where it like says show all game servers, and when you click that and restart the launcher, then you should have a button at the bottom when you log into the launcher that says holodeck or Tribble, and then you just click on Tribble, and it will take a lot of time to download everything for Tribble and update Tribble, just as it did for the main game. You'll basically have two separate installations, and then when you click on Tribble, then you can engage and log into Tribble that way. That's how it's done. Now, just a few from part 2, the Helix video. Did Debley say, I played Stowe a year ago, but had to stop because the game was too difficult for me. Do you recommend I start again and watch these videos for guidance? I can't find any updated tutorials online. Yes, first of all, I absolutely recommend you try the game again. Don't give up. Try it on normal. Make sure you're on normal difficulty and not any other higher difficulty, first of all. That way you're, on that easiest level, and that should at least be a start. If it ends up seeming too hard to you, you can watch this playthrough. This playthrough will help you, even though I'm playing on harder difficulty with the lifetime account. It will still help you, but I also have some older playthroughs as well that are I have a free-to-play playthrough that may help a lot, and in that playthrough I go about how to buy, sell, and trade gear, because one of the biggest things as a free-to-play player is you may not have a lot of energy credits to buy gear, so it's very important to loot everything in the world and sell everything to earn as many energy credits as you can, and through that then you buy the gear. I would use the vendors within the game to buy the gear and not the exchange, because the vendor prices are a lot cheaper on the gear. Now they're only odd number gear. You're only going to get like Mark 3 and then 5 and then 7, but it is cheaper and should be good enough until you reach endgame. It should get you there. I've also got a lot of other videos on my channel beyond just these playthroughs. I have guides on some other things, some old guides. They're very old, but they should still apply. So I've got actually a lot of videos. If you search through my playlists, you'll see I've got playlists set up for a lot of different things regarding this game. So sort through that and check it out, and hopefully you'll find some stuff. If you're still having trouble, give me a shout out in email or whatever. In the introduction video, I put my @name that you can contact me in the game. Give me a shout out and ask me specific questions if you're having trouble, and I'll try to help. Frank Geisenberg says, you said you were going to take advantage of this being on your lifetime account, so take advantage. Have your other tunes mail this one better gear and etc. Absolutely, I'm doing that. In fact, I transferred 40 million energy credits from one character to this one already, so this character now has a ton of energy credits, and like I said, Jeff, who has helped me out here with the Mark IV gear, I'm definitely going to be using the best stuff available. So this is like a best representation that I can do. And again, we're playing on advanced difficulty, so it's going to be more difficult anyway. And Stan Gunman 01 says, will your in-game ship be one of the scimitar ships? I have no idea at this point what my in-game ship is going to be. I just know I want to have an escorty type ship, and my options seem to be very limited with Romulan ships, especially as you're leveling up. I mean, like for example, I'm stuck with the DeHel or Delin ship as Centurion, and then actually the next ship I'm stuck with a Mogai. I got no other options but a Mogai. And then after that, it's the Dideridex. I have to fly this huge freaking Dideridex that I really don't want to fly as a tactical officer. It's a big lump of a hard-moving ship. It's not what I would want. But yet, as you're leveling up, that's like the only option you have. And I'm going to talk about that as we get further in the game, because the ship selection for Romulans is pitiful until you reach Tier 5 or Tier 6. So I don't know what the in-game ship is going to be yet, but a scimitar ship will definitely be on the table as one of the possible ships for sure. So we'll see what happens. I've got another weird kind of ship that what is it? I've got like a, I may not have it in here to show you, but I've got some kind of adapted destroyer type thingy. Not mail. I want to go to the bank. I think it's in my account bank somewhere. That bank, that's what I want. Yeah, what is this one? Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Tal Shiar Adapted Destroyer. So that's a Sub-Admiral 1 ship. So, does that mean that's Tier 5? Probably only Tier 5. I don't think I've ever used that ship before. Tal Shiar Adapted Destroyer. So that's one ship I'm going to try out, I think, on this character. But I don't know if that'll end up being my in-game ship or what. But it's a Sub-Admiral 1 ship, so I'll be getting into that anyway. I'm looking forward to trying that out. So, yeah. That's what we have to look forward to. Again, this video has just been a bit of a Q&A session. And I'm not going to do these after every video. I may do these maybe once a week or something like that and answer the most important things and give shout-outs to those that deserve it. That sort of thing. But as of the recording of this video, it's technically January 16th. I am Centurion 12, so even though you'll be seeing part 3 video and 4 and all that going on, just know I'm actually way ahead of that already in game. So I'm publishing them on a delayed schedule, about 1 week behind what I've actually recorded. Right now I've recorded up to 7 videos, so I'm going to publish number 3 tonight, but I've actually got number 7 already ready. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's published and where I actually am in the game. Well, thank you all for watching this Q&A update. I think that will get us moving along here, and looking forward to hearing more feedback and comments, and I hope you all just enjoy the game. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. This has been a huge... I've had a huge amount of support for this. A lot of people have come to enjoy this, and that really, really, really is awesome. So thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next one.